So maybe going forward for those types of programs is that I know that when you get grants for those programs, you have to provide an end evaluation. So then hopefully folks are putting in there that the end product is that the need still exists. So either continue funding or figure out something that it can continue. So you've opened the door, you started that first step, and to continue it, you just have to just keep funding it because I know that not every program has some reoccurring funding.
And just to clarify, with the RCMP, every grant is non-funded. It's free service, free delivery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we don't go into the funding aspect of it. However, if there's organizations that looks for funding, there is things in place in organizations that we direct them to. But as far as policing, we cannot get any funding. So our programs are delivered based on resources and based on what programs are available.
Okay. Well, now we're talking about dollars, getting a little off topic there, so we'll bring that back in and just kind of conclude by any final thoughts on pretty much where we can take it into the future from going forward as far as what we can do as individuals and maybe some pointers for society as a whole or any one system, school system, work system, education-wise, your peer systems, that kind of thing.
I think as individuals, being community-based, that we need to, sometimes as adults and when we have raised our own children and they're adults now, we tend to say, sometimes they will, an adult will say, well, I've raised my children, you know what I mean? So forget about the rest, right? But we need to get away from that. And so it takes a community to raise a child. So I think as a community, we need to stay involved. We need to stay involved as adults. We need to stay involved as a parent. And we need to not look away when we see something wrong. We need to be able to stay involved. And if you want good kids out of a community, you need to be able to be there. You need to be able to put some time in, whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of the younger kids. They really look up to the older kids. And if the older children are not living the way that they should be, then here's your younger generation coming, right? Our children are our future. We've had our time. So the children are the future. So we need to make sure that these kids are, doing the right things. And if we see things that we can help out with, then I think us as adults, as a community member, as a parent, we need to jump in and help out. And that's what my thought is.
That's very true, Margaret.
I believe education is key. Outside of the education system, I'm talking about within the community education. There's the communication aspect of like a strategy for communication when it comes to parents. Can a parent walk into a building and see what resources are available to them that when they're in need of a situation and they need someone to talk to? Do they know the right contact organizations and people that they can dial into when they're in time of need? Or is there someone in the community that accepts that role as the person to come to? And I agree 100% with Margaret when it comes to the community, and then us as adults have to look at that and say that we have to stand up and support our community and do things, because when you look at what's going on around us today, we win things in numbers, not by individuals coming forward by themselves. And same situation when a family is raising a child who is totally out of control. It's up to the community to support the family, who in turn is going to be able to deliver the right thing to the children.
Well, Miss Shelley.
Well, I feel the same as Margaret, that we need to be involved. We can't sit around and just say, well, nothing's going to change. We need to be part of that change. And I think also that we need to focus a little bit more on the positive things, because I hear a lot of the great things that our youth are doing. And I hear it from a personal basis. I mean, it would be nice, like you were saying about communications, a way of communicating all that wonderful news that our young people are involved in, all the great things they're involved in. I mean, there's more graduating and going on to university and awards they're winning, and you know, I get it either through information through Facebook or something like that, but it would be nice to have a resource where, you know, that information could be widely known, that we're succeeding in a lot of cases.
I mean, even just off the top of my head, I think of Micah Smith from North Preston. That was just the first black valedictorian of Cole Harbour High. Like, I mean, yes, I think it was in the paper and it was on Facebook and all that, but really that should have been a whole celebration in itself. That should have been a whole party on top of prom and on top of anything else, you know, because especially with Cole Harbour High's history. So, you know, just things like that, like what you're talking about is highlighting our kids. And the ones who don't, who are doing so well, who are not doing media or arts or anything else, but they're doing amazing, and they're going on to university. No one hears about them because they're not, you know, dancing or playing ball or whatever. Those are the ones that I want to go after. So, you know, that's where we're going to end up with this series. Is we're going to dig in, we're going to find those youth. So
and have them on the show.
And have them on the show, yes, without a doubt. Thank you so much, panelists, for joining us today. This concludes our first episode for the series, It Takes a Village. Who is to blame for unruly kids? I'm your host, Tara Kane, and I do ask you to stay tuned for our next host, Pamela Johnson, for What's on Your Mind. Thank you.